Lunch with Leah, episode 421. And here's Leah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. We got past Super Tuesday. Oh, my God. We'll have to talk about that. Well, since we're on this subject, I mean, did you guys all follow Super Tuesday yesterday?
Until I fell asleep last night.
I followed it as late as I could, way even into California, and I just kept on and on. I was up till like 4 o'clock because I get so wound up. But anyway, so what else is going on? Well, I canceled my trip to New York because I just don't really want to fly into an area that is so congested right now. Not that I'm like afraid of that virus or panicked about it or anything. I'm really not. I think if you manage your life carefully, probably avoid it, and if you get it, you're probably going to be okay. But I just don't think there's a reason to go fly into the center of the storm. And of all the places that the most dense population in the world would be, even walking down
right.
the streets.
I would know.
When you're walking down the streets, you're 1 foot from somebody. If you go on a play, You're sitting like this, especially if it's cold. Like now it's not, but when you're in the winter, when you wear your coats, there's no room. Everything is just so packed in. And I was like, I'm going to cancel. So we canceled that. So then RJ's like, I am not going to spend my spring break, my first college spring break in Miami. I want it to be memorable. I'm like, oh, my, do we need this drama? I'm like, really, RJ, your whole life is spring break. I mean, is there anybody who has a better life than you? Maybe me, but other than that. So I compromised to take him to Texas because I figured at least there, other than the airlines getting there and back, it's very sparse. It's out in the country. He likes to go to the gun range. He likes to go to can you imagine going to the gun range with like 5 bags of Lysol towels? And then he likes to ride the horses. Me wiping the horses down for the virus before he gets on the horse.
Oh, my goodness.
But anyway, so that's what we're going to do. I mean, it's not something I love to do, but I get to see everybody, and I like that part of it. But
I'm surprised he didn't want to go to like Mexico, Cancun, or something like they all do in college the first year.
A lot of the kids are going to the Bahamas, but this one girl I saw in the elevator the other day said that her parents are telling her, they're rethinking going to the Bahamas. I think if you're gonna go somewhere, the Bahamas is probably a better place to go than most. But on the other hand, there's a ton of international traffic in and out of the Bahamas. And if they do close the border, you're stuck there. Of course, there are worse places to be stuck. But let me tell you, I've lived in these islands. I lived in Puerto Rico for a long time. I've lived in Santo Domingo for a while. I lived in all those islands down there for a few months at a time or a year at a time or whatever when I was selling stuff down there. Those islands get small very fast. I mean, at some point you just like, I've got to get off this rock and get back to the States. They get smaller and smaller and smaller. Your world becomes very small. Same thing happened when I was living on Fisher Island. After a while, it's like, oh my God, my life has got to be bigger than this. So anyway, there's that. So then I posted yesterday who is Joe Biden on my Twitter account, and I posted a picture of that letter that he wrote for RJ. You guys remember? Were you there? You were there. You were there. So he came to the house. He hung out the whole day. I offered him the back bedroom. I offered him the back restroom. He knows, no, I'll just sit in this I had this little sitting room kind of, and he sat there the whole day, made his little phone calls, offered him a phone. He used his cell phone. He's so easy. And so he was hanging out there the whole day waiting for an event. The first time he came at night, that's when he ran with Obama. So I had kind of a little bit of a relationship with him in that, we knew him from before. And then when we had that second time he came to the house, he was going to make a speech around noon, and RJ wanted to stay home from school. Now RJ didn't, let's be honest, RJ wanted to stay home from school. So I told him, I'll pick you up at 11 and you can come and do the speech, and I'll take you back after the speech. Well, RJ cornered him in the dining room and said, oh, Mr. Biden, I think he was vice president at the time. Yeah, vice president, I really don't want to go back to school today. I want to stay here all day, and I want to hear your speech. I want to learn from you. RJ put the sales pitch on him. He sat there and wrote out a full-page letter. Mrs. Matthews, please excuse RJ. He's helping me prepare my speech. He's going to, be my host for the day. And my wife's a school teacher, and I understand the importance of not missing school and all this and that and the other. It's this whole long letter. So then I got a copy of it and sent to the teacher and kept the original and framed it. But anyway, so there's that. So I was just telling people yesterday that's the kind of person he is. Let's see. And then Chris Matthews quits hardball.
What happened
Was
with that the other
were you
night?
watching?
Yes, and then the other guy came on and he looked like he'd been
Okay, let
run
me
over.
ask you. Okay, so I watched Chris make that speech and exit, but before that speech, that was the top of the show, right?
Right, it was the top.
So he just walked out and started the show. So to me, it looked like no one else knew he was going to leave.
They didn't know he was going to do that, and
That's
then
how it looked to me.
And what happened was when they came back, the guy that fills in for him,
Steve
Kornacki, they
I
had him
love
on there,
him.
and he was kind of like, "Well, we still have an hour to fill," so he
I
was like,
under the. I thought,
and the girls in the background that were in the
Yes.
desks were eating their lunch, laughing. You could see them laughing at what had happened because nobody could believe it.
I thought I missed something. I'm
No.
like, I must have missed something here. He didn't just go there and walk off the set, but he did.
Yeah.
And so, huh?
It was pre-recorded.
No, it wasn't pre-recorded.
No, it was live.
It was
That's what they
live.
were saying, because that's what Leslie said, and they said that they put all these things that they recorded it the day before.
It was recorded
I
the
don't
day
think
before.
so.
I thought it was live.
It was live. I mean, Steve Kornacki, anyway.
Because he
however
was
it
freaking out when they get back. I
freaked
don't think they
out.
would have ever aired that.
And then, that's why I don't think it was pre-recorded. I think they maybe changed it. And then at
Yeah.
the end, he started getting teared up. I mean, it's possible that it was, but it just looked so live and so raw.
Yeah,
And
it was
then
crazy.
I just was shocked. And by the way, I'm just really furious. You know, I'm not a women lib activist. Let's not say that. But I'm a progressive person as a woman, and I'm always pushing women's rights and agendas forward. But this Me Too movement has just jumped the damn shark. I'm sorry. You can't
Yeah.
even compliment a woman anymore. That's
No.
what he did. He complimented her. He said, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful. How did I ever miss you?" Or "Why didn't I fall in love with you?" Or something like that.
Right.
If a guy said that to me, I would have laughed and said, "You missed out," and moved on. But they've gone too
Today,
far.
everyone just
They've
is too
gone
sensitive.
too far with it. Now the people that are seriously harassed and offended or whatever are physically abused. It waters down their case.
Yeah,
When you make a big to-do, now this guy has a sterling career. He's a major network player for many years. He's probably one of the most, he's the smartest in terms of history other than probably historians on all the networks. He knows, if you bring up a subject that happened 25, 30, 50, 100 years ago about any person in history, he knows the whole background to it. And he's so good at what he does. And for him to have to leave, or for him to choose to leave in that manner because some girl reported him for commenting and complimenting or being flirty in the dressing in the makeup room with all the other people that were there. I'm sorry. Those girls have gone too far.
Yes.
By the way, if you don't want to be complimented, don't wear push-up bras, stilettos, and mini skirts, okay? Dress it down. Now, I'm not saying this girl did, but when you walk around like that, I mean, you're going to attract a certain amount of attention. I don't care if you wear it. Just don't complain about it. You wear it to get the attention. You get it, then you go report somebody for harassment. Oh, I can't. I'm not saying that girl dressed that way, but I'm saying in general, whatever.
You're getting a lot of comments.
Oh, everyone's mad at me.
No, they're not. Andrea Skew says she loves the beautiful scarf.
James gave me.
Kelly Vanderbrook says, "Hi Leah, I love the necklace you're wearing. What brand is
Those
it?"
are Mays.
And she
Silver.
says, "This is my very first time watching you live. That she always catches the podcast the next day."
Oh, you're missing out. By the time it catches around to you, we're on to more gossip.
And Raquel Glitch says, "Is that a lunch with Leah insulated glass? Where do I get one? It
Oh
is
my
fabulous."
God. Sandy, you can call 1-800, I don't remember. Sandy Arambete's got this for me. Go to hello@leahblack.com. We'll get her information.
We'll give you your
They're not expensive. She had it made, custom made for me. It's hilarious. It's full of Texas iced tea.
And I'm eyeing a Versace one for you.
Oh,
We're waiting. We're never going to get
I
that.
was going to get that for you, but when you told me it was $1,000,
Well, I don't know that it's that much. I just said it's probably $1,000.
It was a couple of $100. I wanted because I saw in the
Donatella.
Versace Instagram post, she's always walking around with one with a big logo, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got to get one of those for James. But then I told James, you got to find one, and he said he couldn't find one.
Yep, she's not talking to me on Instagram.
Oh yeah, well call herself. Okay, moving along.
Yes, and they're all saying you look great today, so that's pretty much it. Totally
Thank
agree,
you.
Leah. Enough is
Fabulous.
enough. Sylvia Daughtery from the UK says, "Hi, Leah. Cough, sneeze. No, I'm fine. We're just washing our hands over here. We're an island."
Oh my God. Use those wet ones all day, every day.
Yeah.
So then, well, I don't know. You know, here's the problem with that virus for me. If you know what you're dealing with, then you take precautions and you don't catch it. The problem is, I don't trust the Trump administration because they lie about everything. And now they won't let this doctor talk without Pence censoring what he has to say. So that's the part I don't agree with. It's like, if we just know the facts, we'll deal with them. Don't go out, we won't go out. Wash your hands, we'll wash your hands. Use the Lysol, use the Lysol. Don't get in big crowds, we won't do that. But you can't believe anything they say because they're more worried about the stock market and Trump's image of being the, I can fix it, only I can fix it. They're so worried about all that that they're shading the facts. And the more that they suppress the doctors talking and telling us the truth, the more paranoid we get because the more suspicious we get because we know they're lying. So that's the problem. You know, Trump has no credibility and Pence doesn't believe in science.
No.
Remember, he turned down the HIV needle exchange program, and he believes in conversion therapy. He doesn't believe in science. So, I mean, if they had like the top person in the planet managing it and they were telling the truth about it, everyone would calm down. It's the lies that we are worried about.
Did you see the press conference last Saturday when he announced that Pence was going to be in charge? The guy that was in charge was at that press conference too. So then as soon as the president started to walk off, one of the reporters said, "So are you replacing so-and-so with Mike Pence?" And he turned around and he was like, "No, I don't think so." And then he just walked off. He just left and unsettled.
They cannot have a coherent message. They can't. He's random. He doesn't plan ahead. They've known about this virus for 2 months before.
Yeah, that's what Maria is saying. There's more out there because they have not been testing.
And why didn't they have the test? By the way, there were 37 agencies around the world that Obama and Biden had set up to prevent infectious diseases from coming to the U.S. And when Trump, 2 years ago, Trump shut them all down. Now, the reason they set them up was because of the bird flu or the Ebola or whatever. One of the diseases were coming around. So then Bill Gates has invested hundreds of millions of dollars in making sure that they eradicate diseases because his philosophy is if there's a disease in South Africa, it's coming here. If there's a disease in Iran, it's coming here. Trump thinks the germs are not going to get over the border wall. They're not coming over the wall. Well, I think those are going to attract more germs because the more they climb on that wall, apparently the germs live on metal for 7 days, so they're going to attract more. And then if those kids in the cages get it, and then the whole community down where the cages are spreads like that, I mean, it's a disaster because of the way they're managing it. You know, I just want to go back to enjoying my normal, fabulous life. Remember when no drama Obama, they had the swine flu, they had the bird flu, then they had
SARS.
The Ebola, and then they had the SARS. They had all these things. We weren't freaking out, watching the news every day. We felt a comfort level that it was being managed, and if there was anything we needed to know, we would be informed of facts on it. Right now, we think we just don't know because this guy is so random. Have you watched him rant lately? I mean, he just goes off on tangents and this, and he can't help himself. That's the problem, is him. So Bloomberg drops out of the race. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But you know,
we have some people that aren't happy about the political talk this morning.
They aren't?
Aren't.
Because of what I'm saying? Why, they want Bernie?
I don't know. She says always political talk. I'll check you next time.
Okay, check me next time. Okay, you know what? Don't vote. You get the government you deserve. Okay. So yesterday I went to get my back rehab. Okay, this therapist is really good. When I pull in the parking lot, you're going to die laughing. There's a big van beside me with a butt on it this big. I mean, a butt. And it said Brazilian butt lift here with a phone number. I was wondering, if they're doing the butt lift inside
probably in the back of the van.
I mean, would you go to a doctor that advertised that way? I was screaming. It was in English and Spanish. It looked like a cartoon. There was so much stuff on it, and this woman's big ass sitting there. I was like, oh my God, I hope nobody's doing that.
They're ready for the Cayocho parade this week.
Is there Cayocho parade?
I think it is the 8th of March.
I wouldn't be going to that. It's going to be a lot of germs.
Listen, we're all going to be sick. There's that. There's Ultra. There's Miami Music Week. week. There's all the stuff's all coming,
It's
and they're
only a
all still
matter of
coming.
when.
I'm going to lock myself in a room
I think we're
for
just
2
going to
weeks.
shut down the office and only let us in it,
Yeah.
not let anyone else in it. So then, let's see what else is going. I was thinking about that, though. Let's say they did just quarantine everybody, self-quarantine. Every store is closed, everything's closed, for 3 weeks. Would that be so bad if they stopped everything, if they stopped the bills that were due, if they stopped everything that was due, and you just could take a break from all this chaos for 3 weeks? I mean,
no,
it wouldn't be so bad. Everybody's off work. No bills are coming in. Everybody's got their house stocked. Everybody just gets to sit down and watch Netflix for 3 weeks.
and treat themselves to Leah Black Beauty.
Of course, you can use your beauty treatments. You can go back and watch all my old podcasts on YouTube. I mean, I don't think it'd be so bad to slow things down. The world is just moving too fast
I'll need to take a deep
anymore.
breath. Yes, I agree.
Oh, it's moving too fast
Tracy
anymore.
Limke says, "Hey Leah, I have to tell you that I've been using your beauty products for over a year, and this past week I decided to go for the special product bundle." And she said that they have made such a huge difference, and she swears by it, and she's telling everyone that they have got to try your products.
Thank you so much, LeahBlack.com.
Yes.
Use the podcast promo and get half off on the CBD and the facelift kit.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And we have a couple of special bundles going on right now too. So.
Oh, we do. We have some
the
specials.
duo and the trio.
Is that? Do we have isn't it St. Patrick's Day?
Yes.
Yeah, we have St. Patrick's Day.
So we have two. We have a beauty bundle duo and a beauty bundle trio.
And then are we going to have a spring break special too?
We'll have a Easter spring
Easter
special
spring
coming
break.
up. Yes.
And then we'll have an end of school special. Then we'll have a summer special. You just got to keep following along.
Right.
Go to LeahBlack.com. Meanwhile, we're not going to talk about politics now, but I do want to just say that Pete Buttigieg is one of the classiest, most elegant people ever, and so smart. And I loved the interaction between him and Joe Biden, where Joe Biden complimented and said, "You have the character integrity of my son Beau, which was with my soul." I love Pete Buttigieg so much.
Me too.
He's going to be he will probably be president one day.
I agree.
I mean, he's just so smart, but he's so classy. He never really went after other candidates. He didn't go below the belt. He was always above the fray. He was so above his age in terms of maturity. He fought in the war by choice, the Afghanistan war.
He's the smartest guy in the room.
He is so smart.
6
and
languages.
so pragmatic, and I was just so in awe of the way he handled leaving the thing.
No, it was
and you
great.
know what he brought to the politics thing is he brought a whole wave of voters that were complacent voters. They vote or they don't vote, but he engaged them and he broadened the tent. So I thought that was remarkable. And then Amy was also a class act the way she bowed out. And she brought a lot of women, and she brought a lot of very moderate Midwestern people to start paying attention more. And they were both so classy in how they did it and when they did it and how they made their endorsements. So I thought it was just, it was just amazing. And Tom Steyer also, he was very classy about the way he handled it.
And Maria-
He's just not as much of a politician. He didn't capitalize
Right.
on his endorsement like they did. Do what?
Maria Moreno says both he and Amy Klobuchar have long, great careers ahead
They
of them.
do.
I agree.
They
I
really
think they
do.
both were they did the right thing,
Yeah.
This is the way it's supposed to work during the
Yeah.
primaries. And
Yeah.
when you don't see the path, you don't stay in just to stay in.
No spoiler, yeah.
And
the only thing that bothers me now, though, about Bernie is now he's attacking I'm going after the Republican establishment and the Democratic establishment.
Yeah.
Listen,
we just don't need more chaos. I'm not going to vote for another chaotic president.
It's too extreme. We've spent 200 and something years trying to build these institutions, the Departments of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, the international stage, all these things we've tried to build. Just improve on them if you don't agree with them. Change and fix, but don't just try be like bomb throwing. I mean, that's just like what Trump did. I'm ready for I just want
that's
the
what
government
Bernie
to
is, just the
run.
other version of it.
Yeah, I just want the government to run, just smoothly run, tell us what we need to know, be honest with us, keep us informed, and let us go on about our lives. I don't want to have to be watching the news all day, every day to wonder, is there a break coming out? Are they going to indict someone because they don't like Trump? Who's he going to throw under the bus today? What's the big scandal of the day? It's just too overwhelming and exhausting. On social media, ask me anything. Alan Rothschild What is the best advice anyone has given you? Oh my God, I don't know the answer to that. I would say
wash your hands.
Wash your hands. I would say be persistent and don't give up if there's something you really want to accomplish. Because I'm one of those that are persistent. How many years does it take me to get something done? But once I get there, I just stick with it. We have a real lunch together. I'd love to work with you. Well, Danny, you can pick up that hamburger and watch our podcast. We're having lunch with Leah right now. I'd love to meet you too, Danny, Nicolette, and many others. When will we be on Jeff Lewis? Well,
oh my God, they're gonna all start revolting soon.
I need you
This
all to
week,
tag.
they were even like on Jeff's page when they post the photo before they all go on.
Good.
They were coming back on. When is Leah coming?
Oh, good.
They were
That's what I need you to do. I need him to realize my value and importance instead of just thinking I'm another guest. I'm just kidding.
They're like, we're way overdue for some Leah Black.
I know. Well, listen, if we go there in the summer, I'll be on there May, June, July, and August for sure. And I may take a trip there in April, Jason. We were going to check that out, remember? Anyway, don't forget to go to leahblack.com. Use the podcast, PODCAST podcast, the one you're watching now, to get your discounts on your products, the CBD skincare and the Sun Youth Kit. By the way, the reason the wash and the wash and the exfoliant are not discounted is because we're selling them as low as we can, but the market's so competitive for exfoliants and wash that you can't really discount it. But I will tell you this. People that use that wash kit, they never change, and it lasts so long. That's another thing. You buy it, and it lasts so long. So there's not so there's really not a profit center. It's just to make sure people wash their face really good. But that exfoliant, I know that exfoliant is really good, and we get a lot of rave reviews and blah blah blah. I didn't realize how good it was until I went in RJ's dorm, and his roommate, all of his sheets, bedspread, and towels were had orange tints to them. Yeah. And I'm like, what happened? I threw them all. I bought him new ones.
That's what you were saying. He cleared up his acne or something.
You know what it was? He was using this exfoliant from the drugstore that was orange.
Yeah.
And it was ruining his towels and his sheets and everything. And I looked at the ingredients and I was like, my God, no wonder your face is broken out all the time. It has all these chemicals and all this stuff you don't need in it. And I gave him the exfoliant, and his face cleared up in 2 days. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it cleared up. And I put him on the cream. Well, it could have been just exfoliant because I also put him on the moisture lotion. But, he just couldn't believe it because he'd been fighting with his skin ever since he's been in college.
My legs dry out so bad, and so I use that exfoliant on my legs 2 times a week. I'll scrub them down, and it has made them so soft. I don't get that alligator drying out an hour after I'm out of the shower.
If you're up north and you get that and that crepey thing, and also if I use it on the back of my hands, my elbows, my knees, and I use it on my chest a lot. But I'm in the tub, I do use it on my whole body. Yeah. But I just something about it. It feels good. It's refreshing, and it's good. The quality's good. That's Jeff's probably favorite product, the exfoliant and the serum. But that it's good for you, and that's what I feel good about it because I didn't realize. No wonder that exfoliant's $10 on the shelf. It's just a bunch of junk.
Oh my God! You know what the main ingredient in most of the ones you buy over the counter like that is? They grind up walnut shell, and it's horrible for your skin. It really cuts the surface of it and stuff. Yeah. It's not good. St. Ives is one of those companies that they've really come down hard on about using the wrong stuff.
Yeah, if you use the wrong one, it has adverse effects because it can be scratchy and everything. And also use it in a circular motion, going upward and outward with water, and preferably in the shower, the tub, so you don't have to bend over. But this one's just gentle, but it gets the job done. So those are why those two are not particularly on sale. Now, also, I'm trying to get that hair serum developed. We're working on a hair serum, and I'm working on a little product for the little dogs.
Good.
Wouldn't that be cute? Either little treats or drops for their water. Expand their life expectancy. I'm working on that.
Does it sedate them? If so, I'll take a whole gallon for all of them in my building.
No, it won't sedate them. I don't know. Maybe it will calm them down. I don't know. Okay, so there's that. Now, so we have the Trio on special for $115 right now. It's a $208 value. And the Duo on special for $90, which is a $180 value. So if you want to check out any of the products, go to leahblack.com. leahblack.com. Oh, my messages, my message machine. I guess Joe Biden will be calling me any minute now.
Yeah. Wanting donations.
Leah's life lesson. My life lesson for this week is just bloom. It used to be bloom where you're planted. Now I'm just like, bloom wherever you are. Just bloom.
People loved that this week, too. They were
did?
sharing it and everything. It was great.
I know I come up with this stuff in the middle of the night. I'm sitting around and go, people should just bloom. And I go, oh, here's a quote. Bloom, just bloom. I just make up all these quotes. Go to my quotes on my Instagram. You'll see I make up quotes all the time. We need to probably make a quote book one day.
Yes,
anybody's going to buy it.
No,
Who's
people
gonna
have
buy
asked
it?
for that. That's something people have asked for.
You know,
before.
James, you don't have enough to do. Why don't you just sit around and do that? Listen to what our customers are saying about Leah Black Beauty Skin Care at the ARCOF color photo.
Yeah, it was the color. What is it? The Arc of Color Photo.
We're not that smart, okay? but we appreciate your contribution to our testimonials. Okay. The Art of Color photograph. Okay. Leah, I began using the CBD serum about a month ago, and I can already tell a difference in the texture of my skin. The face wash is truly amazing. You see, we're just talking about that. And I think I get more benefit from that than anything. You know, that's why those cheap things, people think that they're good, and they make clean your skin, but they don't improve it or help
and you have to use more of it. Like then ours is concentrated.
Ours
is
way
just
too
like
long.
pea size. You can do it.
Like we have enough inventory for 25 years. No, I'm kidding. The eye cream is great, and I've ordered the scrub and the lotion. You're going to love the scrub and the lotion. I'm 59. I've tried them all, including the most expensive skincare lines. Well, thank you so much, the Art of Color photographer, I'm assuming. Thank you so much. Oh, I have to show you. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. So look at this. First, you just have to look at it and put this behind it so it doesn't, so you can see it. Look at this. This is the funniest thing you've ever seen.
Oh, the dogs with the masks.
Can you see it?
It's hard to see it.
So listen, so what happened, you got to put the papers behind it or you can see through it. Okay, so these dogs, they don't have it, but they're carrying it. They were tested. Somehow they found out, I guess this is in Asia or somewhere, that they had it on their dander, you know, they had on their hair or whatever. So they don't know if they've got it. They're testing them, but they don't know yet because they really don't have a test for dogs. So just to be on the safe side, they put these little masks on their face. That's the cutest thing.
Yeah, for those on the podcast that can't see it, it's like the medical masks, but it fits on their snouts.
There's a poodle and some other little dog. I mean, it's the cutest thing, baby. Am I going to have to get you a mask? Oh my God, it's so funny. All right, let's go to the news, the coronavirus. Well, North Korea figured out how to stop it. They had one person with it. Did you hear what they did? They shot him dead.
They killed him.
Shot and killed him. Yeah. Can you believe that, Jason? They had one person. They're like, we're not getting, well, here. And they shot him dead. They just we're not letting you spread it. So they shot him.
Yes.
I mean, that is just beyond what's wrong with the world. Why didn't they just quarantine him, treat him, and hope that he got better?
Well, you know what? Somebody yesterday that I know, we were talking about all this, and there is a thing that's floating around. I don't know if it's a conspiracy or what, but they said that the Chinese introduced this on purpose to disrupt the election and the Olympics. That those were the two things that they did on purpose.
I don't believe it, but it is biochemical. But there are a lot of people that do believe it, that they did it for a lot of reasons. One would be like the overpopulation, to disrupt, to affect the economy.
Yes.
The big one was that they did it to get even with Trump for the tariffs. I mean, there's a lot of stories about it. I can't believe that. And if they did do something like that, I don't think they would have thought it was deadly. I think they would have thought it was just going to make people sick and just disrupt things. But it's just... I don't know. There's a lot of wackadoodles. Frightening. So, the Southwest, what is it, Southwest in Texas, Google pulled out.
South by Southwest, yes.
Yeah, South by Southwest. Google pulled out, Sirius pulled out, Twitter pulled out. A lot of people are pulling out of that. Yep. And you're going to love this
Some of the NCAA basketball teams have also said they're not traveling this week because of it. They're not going to their games.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my God, maybe I shouldn't be going to Texas. So you're going to love this one, Jason. So guess what? Now, in Paris, on the runway, the designers have all made their most gorgeous face masks. James is going to buy a Versace one, and he'll be wearing it around the rest of his life.
I told Leah the other day, I I had ordered a Versace hazmat suit.
That would be so funny. So there were 88 cases and 6 died a few days ago in Washington. Now it's up to 9 have died, and we don't know how many cases. 9 in Washington, D.C. I can't believe it. France closed the Louvre Museum.
I know it.
That's why I told Roy, why are we going to New York? You know, you're not going to want to go to any of these museums. You have to touch a million things. You have to sign in. You have to buy tickets. You're in a closed quarters. I mean, now's not the time to go. And now, Governor Cuomo came out this morning. They have 6 cases, but I think 4 in one family. One guy gave it to his wife, his 20-year-old son, and the woman that drove him to the hospital. It must be very highly contagious.
Well,
I mean, really, the 20-year-old got it.
And then the one that's in New York was here in Florida, in Miami, the few days before. So they're saying that he had been down here for days before he went back and tested positive. So we'll probably
too much.
see this.
I mean, you better start
increase
TiVoing everything, get all your popcorn ready, and get ready to stay home and watch TV for a few days. So the stock market has taken a real dive, and you know, I have to be honest with you. You can't blame Trump on this one for the stock market, but what you can blame him for with the stock market is this sugar high. It's like if you have a credit card, I give you a credit card, and you go out and you spend $1 million on it. You're living great. World is great. Got the fancy car, got the big this, got the big that. You go to the best restaurant, you got the big Rolex watches. You know, you're living great. But when that credit card comes due with your 18 and 20 or 22% interest on it, you're going to be in debt for the rest of your life paying it off. The same thing with these student loans. Well, why the economy is booming is because we have done everything we can to run up the deficit $1 trillion a year. So there's going to come a time when we're going to have to pay for that. And there was someone from formerly from the Trump administration said Trump's attitude was he didn't care. He wouldn't be around to clean up the mess.
Yeah,
that's what he did with his casinos. That's what he did with all his companies that went bankrupt. We don't need to bankrupt our company. I don't leave my son. Right now, we work in this office 4 months out of the year to pay our taxes. The first 4 months, pay the taxes. And the rest of the year, we pay for everything else, our salaries or whatever. I don't want my kid working 9 months out of the year to pay off the debt, the government debt for taxes, and only getting 3 months of salary. So it's such short-term thinking. I just can't wrap my head around these Republicans that know better. These are economists. They know better. It's always when the Democrats are in office like, oh, the deficit. Oh, my God, these people are so horrible with money. Then the Republicans get in. They spend hundreds of $1 billions on wars and tax cuts and all this. And the deficit, the deficit doesn't mean anything. What is wrong? How do people not? Don't you have any intellectual honesty about you? I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, an independent or what. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. It's like Adam Schiff said, right is right. I mean, that's the thing I think that's just so upsetting about the way things are being ran right now. Anyway, back to the symptoms so that you know. Headaches, malaise, runny nose, cough, sore throat, muscle pain, trouble breathing, fever over 100.4, and sepsis. What is that? S-E-P-S-I-S. And pneumonia. Those are the symptoms. So there you go. If you have any of those symptoms, and that's the thing, so you have the symptoms. They don't have the equipment to test you. What are you supposed to do? You can't go to the hospital and infect everybody else. You don't even know if you have it. You can't treat yourself at home because you don't know how to treat yourself. I mean, I don't know. I can't. It's too much.
Crazy. We need to take our 5-second break for our advertisers, and we'll be right back. Sorry, I meant to do that before we... And we're back.
Oh, we got another big advertiser. Who was that, James? I forgot.
New York Magazine.
New York Magazine. The New York Magazine's got their eye on me. Are we going to have a daily talk show, New York Magazine? Okay. A man in Oregon used counterfeit money to buy something. What do you think he used the counterfeit money to buy? This is hilarious. He bought Girl Scout cookies with the counterfeit money. I mean, what the hell are you going to do with the cookies, number one? And number two, you're going to con these little girls selling Girl Scout cookies? And number three, he probably targeted them because he goes, well, they won't know it's counterfeit.
Probably. That's
what
awful.
What do you do with all the cookies? Were you that hungry? I mean... People are nuts. Oh my God. Apple will pay we've been talking about this for a long time.
Oh yeah,
And
I
we
was going to
were
ask
right.
you all about that.
We were right.
Because you all should be able to get $25,
Are you
Jason.
listening? Apple is going to pay $500 million to settle a class action lawsuit proving that they were slowing down the older iPhone models to get new sales. We've been talking about that. This is what they do. We have to replace our computers. We have to replace our phones. We have to replace everything because they either get new plugins or new equipment or new software.
Well, yeah.
But
everything updates, so
you know
that's how
I'm
it works.
sorry.
Like, it's just
Bullshit.
like whenever you download the Facebook app, like every day I get an update on it because they fix bugs or they advance something or they do whatever.
I used my BlackBerry until the damn thing, they wouldn't repair it anymore. And I was
Tara
just
Galani
fine
still
with
wears
it.
hers.
So I don't need to be updated all the time. I need to save money.
If you have an iPhone 6 or 7, though, you can get $25 is what they're paying out
And
to
you know how
everybody.
much time you're going to put in to get that $25?
Yep.
So by the time you put the time in, they make it so difficult that you'll put 10 hours. So you put $2.50 an hour is what you're going to get for getting that $25 back.
Yeah.
If somebody's smart, some company, they'll collect all the money for everybody for a percentage, and they'll shake them down. Oklahoma college recruiter. Okay, I didn't read the whole article because I was just so turned off by the beginning of it, but I'm assuming he was recruiting for some sports thing. He lined up, this is in Oklahoma, NBC reported it if you want to look it up. He went in to recruit, and you know how you just need to organize people to start to pick to see who you want, like who fits what you're looking for? He lined them up. You're going to die. This is just, people are crazy. From the lightest skin to the darkest skin. He lined them up by skin color. So you got the white Norwegian and then the black
What
South
is wrong
African,
with
and then
people?
you got all these things in between. He was fired. Well,
He should have.
first of all, just the judgment of coming up. I mean, you got to give the guy credit. I mean, yeah, that was creative. But you could go by height. You could go by weight. You could go by category of what you do. There's so many things. Well, let's see, what can we do? I want the whitest person there and the darkest person there, and I want you guys to line up by color. Can you imagine these people putting their hands out? Well, I think I'm one shade lighter than you. I'll stand there. Well, I'm 3 shades darker. What is wrong with the world? I can't.
Yeah, it's horrible. I worked for a company once where their CEO did something like that in an email concerning the models that they were using for the ad campaign.
Yep.
And they got sued.
But I can tell you that.
And they should have gotten sued.
The only difference is, if you're a model, you are a piece of property. You are.
Yeah.
Hold your hand like this, sit like this, put your boobs out, put your face down. You are a piece of property. They're looking at you like a prop.
No, they
aren't looking at you like a man or a woman or a blonde or a brunette or anything else. They're looking at you to get that shot they want. So I don't think you have as much to complain about if you're a model as you do if you're just like the regular
Yeah,
thing. You
but
know
it
what
was
I'm
the
saying?
context that this was put in, which was like, I don't want anyone that's too dark or too gay. And then they showed 5 black crayons that were each a
that's
shade
horrible.
lighter, and that in the email. So that was like
the black
that was horrible.
part-
It was a racist thing, and they
That
should have
is
been
racist.
sued.
But the black part, some things photograph better on black, like the big
Right.
gold bowl.
No, you're absolutely
and
right.
some things photograph better on white. Like if you've got big emeralds, they're going to look gorgeous on the white skin. If you've got big, bold gold and silver, it's going to look gorgeous on black skin. So if you're doing it in the context of the art and the photo shoot, it's one thing. If you're doing it in the context of, your preference, that's another story.
Exactly.
So Stephen Hawkins, you guys know who he is. He
Yes,
was like
he was
the guy that...
He was the guy that had.
He believes that how he was a scientist that determined how he thought the black holes and how the world came to be, and he was like a genius.
he had
genius.
disability too.
And, he had Parkinson's or something, and
Yeah.
they
Is it Lou
expected
Gehrig?
him to. Was it Lou Gehrig? They
I can't remember
expected
what
him
it
to
was.
live a couple of years. He lived to be like 80-something years
Yeah.
old. Well, he's a scientist that had theories on a lot of different things. Black holes, threatening what's going to threaten mankind, how the universe got started, everything. Anyway, he says, and now I'm agreeing with him, that greed and stupidity will end the human race. He's the one that came up with the concept of physics. Greed and stupidity will in the human race. I really wish I would have stolen that from one of my pillows.
Yeah, he had ALS.
One of my quotes.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
David Binkley said, yeah, it was ALS. Everybody's commenting that
ALS, yeah.
Yeah, that was what it was.
He lived to be like, I mean, years
He
old.
only passed away a few years ago, and they did a movie about him and everything that was even nominated for an Oscar.
What was the name of that movie?
Wasn't it called In the Stars or something
No.
about the...
What was it? It was a great movie about him.
Does
really
anybody
good.
out there
Yeah.
watching remember what the movie was that he was
something
in? That
of
they
the
did about him?
universe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway. So this is the first time in 3 million years that the Earth's air has reached the carbon dioxide of 400 parts per million. It hasn't happened in 3 million years. Now, that would be an indication as to why people are getting so many respiratory diseases and sicknesses and pneumonia and all of that, you know? Coke and Pepsi are being sued for not recycling. So I'm wondering if that's because they said they were recycling and so they're being sued for it, or they're just being sued for being negligent, because I don't think there's a law requiring people to recycle. So they must be misrepresenting that they are recycling. And you know, I hate the aluminum because they say aluminum has large amounts of what's that chemical in it? Well, aluminum that contributes to dementia and Alzheimer's disease. So we don't cook in aluminum. We don't buy things in aluminum. But I hate plastic because plastic is ruining the entire ocean and all the reefs and the fish. They're catching fish now. They're finding particles of the fish are filled up with plastic. So when you really think about it, the only thing probably is glass. Well, glass is very heavy and it's breakable, and but it can be recycled, you know? So, I mean, it's just like we need to, you know, I think the milk carton. Why aren't people putting more things in those milk cartons? There is water called Flow, F-L-O-W. I wanted to look that up. I want to start ordering that.
Yeah.
It comes in a milk carton container. That's what we need to do. What?
Andreas Cruz, Theory of Everything. I think that was the name of the movie.
Theory of Everything. That was it.
Yep.
The Hawkins movie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Andrea.
You see? we were just seeing if you guys were listening. We knew the answer. This is Jeopardy in disguise. So I want
Reverse Jeopardy.
Yeah, for the crazies. Okay, so you know I love Lennox Lewis. He was a heavyweight champion of the world. He's come to our galas a bunch of times, and he's a great guy. I mean, he is so big. He's just like huge. Muscle, solid muscle, great braids in his hair, beautiful wife, Viola, and beautiful children. Anyway, I'm on Twitter all the time, so he tweeted this out. I thought this was a great tweet. I loved it. He goes, "You've got to plan your moves. Living your best life requires sacrifices. Shut out noise and quietly focus on your plans. Write down your goals for your eyes only." I thought that was great advice. And he's very strategic. He's great in chess. He's just a brilliant guy. Anyway, I wanted to share that because I loved him and I loved what he said on Twitter. Yeah. That's how people like that should use their Twitter. They should use it like to uplift people and help people and give them ideas.
Right.
And other
people are saying that glass is very expensive to recycle.
Yeah.
Rocky Glitches, my county stopped accepting it. You know, they stopped accepting it in Miami-Dade, I think, too, because our building put up signs about 2 weeks ago that said in the recycle area, no glass.
I don't know why they don't go to that what milk cartons are made of for water and Diet Cokes and Cokes and the rest of it. There must be a reason. Maybe the carbonation doesn't do well, but water would do well.
There's actually a plant-based biodegradable plastic that they could use for like the bottles and stuff like that. It's just the cost to get it there is...
They're not doing it because they have the injection mold machines already set up for the
Yeah,
plastic.
exactly.
And
It costs a fortune to do those.
Like $100,000 a machine, plus buying all the raw ingredients.
Exactly.
It's all about greed. Hawkins was right.
Is right.
Greed and stupidity. Okay, now, oh my God, this was horrible. TMZ reported it. Brendan called me right away. He goes, "I had this scoop. I could have given it to TMZ, but I work at E, and they don't break big stories of gossip." So he goes, but apparently. The first responders took pictures of Kobe
They
Bryant.
did. Yesterday was a big deal.
The daughter, the people that were dead, and they had to identify the daughter by her teeth. They took pictures of the entire crash scene.
Apparently
and were
some of
sharing
the
it
police
amongst
department did,
themselves,
yeah.
And one guy was sitting at a bar showing it to somebody, and the bartender reported him.
They heard him talking about it, and they reported it. That's exactly what happened. The two guys were sitting at a bar, and it was overheard.
And the sheriff's department says they're just outraged.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if this is true, but I read that the wife, Vanessa, The day they died, she was so distraught, but she still took it upon herself to go down to the police department or wherever she went to tell them, please don't let any of these photos
that's
get
what
out.
it said in the thing.
Now, if your kid and your husband has just died, and it's that important to you to protect their privacy and dignity, to go and do that when you're in complete shock, and then they went and did that, oh my God, that's just horrible.
It's horrible.
This is horrible. CNN. Oh, I love this idea. New York pizza shops are putting photos of dogs on their pizza boxes, looking for little dogs looking for homes with how to contact them and adopt the dogs. I think that's such a brilliant idea. You're sending out those anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it maybe costs a little bit to put that picture on there, but it's pennies, you know.
That's
and
for sure.
I think it's great. They're helping find dogs for, homes for dogs. So I loved that idea. Can you see our skincare now? We're going to have a dog on every bottle of shampoo that goes out the door. Royalty. Oh, is Meghan pregnant or not? They're saying she's taken a few months off, and they're speculating she's pregnant. I don't know.
No, I don't think she's pregnant. No.
I don't really either. I think it's gossip. You know, I don't blame them for getting out of there. The tabloids in the UK.
It's awful how they're doing. They're
brutal.
Brutal. Awful.
That one woman killed herself over it. They're just brutal. They're so horrible. They went after her for racism. They went after her for plotting to marry him. They go after everybody. And I do think there's someone inside the palace that wants the attention for themselves and wants to make everybody else look bad and has connections with the press, and they help spread all this. I really do.
Harry met with the Queen yesterday, and they had lunch, and they apparently, they know where they stand with each other. And she said he said that they were, they had a good lunch, and that he loves her, and that his grandchildren will always look up to the Queen, and that they were always there to support. So it didn't sound like it was too bad. But one of the things that the news reporter said this morning was that the Queen does not like children. So, like young children.
Babies, yeah.
Like
little
babies,
kids,
yes.
But she likes the corgis.
Yes, and that's what one of the news reporters said, unless it looks like a corgi. And everybody was laughing.
Funny.
But she apparently does not like, she's not fond of babies.
Yeah. She likes them when they get a little older.
Yeah, and that's what they were saying was that, she's not missing like the baby part of it, but she is glad when she gets to see her grandkids when they're old.
I feel bad for Harry. I mean, first of all, you're the heir to the spare, so everyone dismisses you half the time anyway. Secondly, you have red hair and everyone accuses you of not being their kid. Well, if you look at Diana's brother, Harry looks exactly like Diana's brother.
Oh, yeah.
And I had met Diana's brother by accident, but I met him. He spent a lot of time talking to him. He wrote us the whole thing, gave us directions, gave us a book. So he looks exactly like the brother. So he had that to deal with. Then he goes into the army or the military, and he shines and excels at everything he does, and he kind of finds his way after being a party boy and the girlfriends and all the rest of it. So he finally gets to a place where he's at peace with himself, meets this girl, crazy about her, and then here come the tabloids after them because she's black, or her father and all of his bullshit gossip, or the stepsister and all her nonsense. And then they just are brutal. They won't let up. And if you look at her in that wedding, she memorized every line, every word, every song. She was flawless. It was like an Academy Award-winning actress performing at the wedding. And she was thrilled to carry out her duties. And she's been an advocate for women and women's rights, and she's very well spoken, and I just feel like that some of them felt threatened by her. And then the racism reared its ugly head. And if I'm Harry, I'm like, listen, I'm not going to grow up in a world where I'm being chased by the paparazzi, talked trash about 24/7. My kids are going to be exposed to it. We have no privacy. We have no rights. We're an heir to the spare. We're not going to be the king. We don't have any power inside this whole thing. I'm just going to go live a quiet life somewhere and try to make enough money to raise my family. Nothing is wrong with that. I'm rooting for them. I feel bad. I feel terrible for the way they were treated. And Housewives, going from royalty to
royalty to real royalty,
low-hanging fruit. Teddy had a baby girl named Dove.
She's adorable.
Congratulations. Is there any more Housewife news that I missed? I don't know. Is Beverly Hills starting or something?
The reunion starts tomorrow night. And
Which
then
one?
For the first part of New Jersey.
Oh, tomorrow night.
And it's going to be good.
What time is that? 9 Eastern?
I think it's at 8.
Oh, I've got to TiVo that
early. It's
I'm
8 or 9.
watching the news. I have to put that away for when we have the self what do you call it, where we have to be home.
Yes, where we have to have self-containment.
Self-containment, yeah.
And then the New Jersey reunion's coming on, and then the New York ladies will be starting soon.
And isn't Beverly Hills, aren't they filming?
They haven't sent they're filming, and I know that they're in post-production, but they haven't announced anything yet or when it's coming or whatever.
I did see the promo for New York.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it looks these girls. I cringe for some of them, but it's entertaining, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, we got that VIP invitation to some Bravo
that new
premiere.
family
What was it? The Family Karma or something.
Family Karma, yeah. We got
here from PR headquarters in New York, from this Kim that runs the PR, and I RSVP'd that I would go if we were in town. We're not in town. I'm taking my son on spring break, but I really appreciate everything Bravo always did for me, and I'm always rooting for their success. Exactly. So I did send a nice RSVP, but if you guys wanted to go, you could probably RSVP and go.
They're taking another swing at Miami.
Yeah, oh my God, I know. It's like once they finally they break the losing streak here, then they'll be filming here every day, because it is a perfect place to film as far as scenery and people and pretty and the rest of it, and the crazies. I mean, my God, the crazies in Miami, I mean, they really have missed the boat here. They just aren't capturing them because they're everywhere.
There's been a lot of friction on Atlanta, too. And it should be coming to an end in a couple of weeks, so they'll be on the reunion of that.
Coming up?
Yeah, but Nene and Kenya are just going at it in the press and on the show. It's not.
You know, I always thought it was a mistake getting rid of Kenya. I always thought she brings it every time, and she's very pretty, and she's very smart, and she's shrewd, and she knows how to punch all their buttons. Yeah. The other one I really missed is what's her name, Phaedra.
Yeah, Phaedra.
I thought Phaedra was amazing, but I heard, I don't know if it's true, because I don't have any contacts over there, that Candy said no way ever with Phaedra because she made that lie up about her drugging somebody or whatever.
Yes.
But Phaedra was so good on that show. She was always one of my favorites. She was just so classy and elegant and sneaky with her little antics.
Yes. She knows how to throw shade, too. She's like a reader when she wants to be.
So in Florida, there's a $54,000 reward. 2 Florida dolphins were found. One died and one had a bullet in its side.
Breaking news.
Huh? Breaking news.
Breaking news. What? Bloomberg will endorse Biden.
Oh, no, that happened this morning.
No, I knew he got dropped out. I didn't know he was going to endorse him.
Yeah, he did.
Did he? So
but
Maricela
maybe he's going to make a speech.
Yeah, she says Bloomberg is endorsing Biden.
Oh, no, he is. But let me see something. Jason, did we ever get any word on the Kathy Rundle money raised? Because I get asked every day. Would you find out and let Jared know?
And Maria Marino just commenting about Nene. She says that Nene let the F-bomb drop on a commercial break for Watch What Happens Live, and it got through. So that's another reason why they're a little on the outs with her at the moment. She said
Who's on the outs with her, Nene and Bravo?
Yeah, because she's been...
What? 4 more what?
4 more chances.
Okay. Would you email Jared and give him the update right now? He's asking me. Okay, I was going to tell you what I found out about Bloomberg this morning. When I first woke up, he apparently, right away, they said that he dropped out and endorsed Biden, but I got an email earlier that said he's going to make a speech sometime today. And so I'm assuming that's when he's going to make his formal thing. I don't want to miss that. We need to find out when it is.
They also just passed an $8 billion bipartisan deal for emergency funding to combat the
good. Only 8 weeks behind.
Yeah.
They're only 8 weeks behind.
Exactly.
The House brought this up 8 weeks ago, and they were going to give him $1 billion. Then the stock market crashed. They said, okay, we'll give you 2. Then the doctors got involved, and they said, okay, we'll give you 4. Now the public's in a panic, so now they're going to say, okay, we'll give you 8. The Democrats wanted $4.5 billion for this back 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. And Trump was like, I'll give you $1 billion. Then the stock market crashes. Okay, you can get 2. I mean, come on. This guy, I can't. Greed and stupidity is going to ruin the world, according to Stephen Hawkins.
Yes.
A 48-year-old man on the Upper West Side was stabbed to death by a woman who repeatedly stabbed him in the chest, according to the New York Daily News. It was one of those disputes. What do you call it? Lover disputes. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're a guy 48 years old and a woman can stab you repeatedly in the chest, I mean, this woman's either got a crazy temper or this guy was extremely dangerous. These domestic violence things are getting out of control. This is why you should not have a gun. I mean, she used a knife, but you had a better chance with a woman with a knife than you do with a man with a gun.
Right.
So, oh my God. And then, The Miller's guy, Coors Miller's guy, went crazy.
Oh, the guy that
shot
was
and
the
killed,
employee, yes.
Shot and killed 5 of his coworkers.
He had a
It's
long-standing
so
feud with one of them,
horrible.
apparently.
I have a long-standing feud with so many people. I hope they don't get a gun with me. Let's see what else. Are we moving on?
Is that why we have to keep moving? No.
What? So now this I thought was really crazy. So Sanders, God bless him. I mean, he believes all the stuff he says, and I think his heart's in a good place. I just think he's just gone too far. You know, they're just like it's those followers of his. They're just like the Trumpers. They're just like mad and angry and. But anyway, so right in the middle of the what is it, the coronavirus breakout, he puts up Marianne Williamson on the stage, and she makes a big speech to endorse him. Marianne Williams was the anti-vaccine person. So you bring up this woman that's an anti-vaccine person.
She's also a spiritualist or something.
Yeah, she's a spiritual advisor. Yeah, she believes we're going to conquer everything with love. Well, God bless her. I mean, I've studied her for years. She did that transcendental meditation, and she's got a lot of good points. But she's an anti-vaxxer, and she's going up and endorsing Bernie right in the middle of this big breakout. And I was like, I don't think they thought that through. I don't know.
I heard this week, too, that Corona beer, which is, we joked about that a little bit last week. Their business is down 20% right now because of the whole situation.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
I mean, people are crazy. Oh, my God. So let's see what else. Oh, Eric Trump. In 2017, we paid $97,800 of taxpayer money just for one trip to Uruguay for him and his security. In 2019, we paid $176,000 to Punta del Este just for one thing. All of these are for business, for their businesses. Those are just one trips. $97,107. These people are grifters. If you're a billionaire and you're running around building your business, you don't charge the U.S. taxpayers $100,000 or $176,000 every time you go on a trip. That is just
crazy,
horrible. And then Donald Trump Jr., oh my God, he's the worst. He comes out and says, these Democrats are hoping that this virus goes around and kills millions and millions of people just to break Donald Trump's winning streak. What are you talking about? I don't think the virus has a party. Is the virus registered as a party?
No, that's what's going to happen. Is that it's going to all backfire because the virus doesn't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I saw someone post the other day. I'm sick today, and if I test positive for it said I've never been to a Trump rally in my life, but if I test positive for coronavirus, I'm signing up. That's what it said.
That's funny. Well, and speaking of his rallies, the latest statistic is that he's now averaging 19 lies per campaign rally.
Right,
19
at
lies.
least. I saw 21 yesterday, too.
So. Well, that's an average, so he's not an averaging. Okay. So look at this. He's fired Yates. He's fired Comey. He's fired Sunderland. He pushed out McCabe. He pushed out Rosenstein. He's pardoning war criminals. He's pardoning that Joe Pryor, who finally fucking lost. He fired Vindman and his brothers. And he's talking about wanting Roger Stone being mistreated and Manafort being mistreated and Flynn being mistreated. I mean...
But what about the vetting thing yesterday that came out? So now if you want to work in the administration, they have a new...
Loyalty test.
There's a loyalty test. How do you feel about the president? Do you like him? What are your personal feelings and all this stuff?
This is the problem with the virus. Yeah. He wants these doctors to be loyal to him instead of speaking the truth.
Exactly.
But I mean, look at all the people he's gone through and gotten rid of. Career, really, heroes and patriots just because they said something about him or disagreed with him.
Yep.
And then he had the crowd boo at one of his rally, Greta Thunberg, and complained that he should be the winner of the People Times Face of the magazine.
The Person of the Year.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
Well, of course
and then he had the crowd boo Greta, this 14 or 15 or 16 or 17 or whatever year old kid. What happened to be best bullying?
Yeah.
He's having the crowd boo this little teenage girl who has, she's on the spectrum or she has some little disability. And she's took a year off of school to bring awareness to this. She gets on Time Magazine People of the Year, and he has his crowd booing her and says, I should be on there every year. What is wrong with him?
He's a narcissist.
He's
crazy.
It's worse than that.
Worse than that.
He is a narcissist, but it's dark, and it's just, And now he has an enemy list. That's why they started the loyalty thing. And guess who's heading up the enemy list? Judge Clarence Thomas, his wife, has the enemy list.
Right.
So Now, do you think that's a little bit of a conflict when your husband is on the Supreme Court and you as the wife are running around looking for an enemies list? I mean, this would be like Roy being a criminal defense attorney getting ready to lobby or to talk in front of the Supreme Court, and I'd be running around lobbying all the jurors. I mean, I think this is a little bit not right.
Nikki Taylor wants to know, what kind of sentence do you think Roger Stone should get?
I think the sentence was too harsh, but I think all the sentences are too harsh. I think the sentencing guidelines are out of control. I think they should all be brought down about 30. I think they should all be brought down about 70% to about a third of what they are right now. And I think that would be fair for him. But I also think it should be fair for everybody else. And they need to all be brought down because back when, who started that was the war on drugs with Bush and
on the 3 strikes you're out thing.
And then Clinton came on along with the 3 strikes you're out. But it really started with the war on drugs.
On drugs with Reagan.
With Reagan and Bush. And they started giving these 25 years and life and double life and all this. I mean, one Sal Magluta got 300-something years. So for drugs, but so I think all the sentences across the board are just way too long. I don't think the sentences meet the crime. Just like Chris Matthews, the punishment didn't meet the crime. He shouldn't lose his career or quit over somebody being complimented too much and didn't like the tone of the conversation. I think all of the sentences are too long, but I think they should bring them down for everybody. And I think this reality winner being in jail for 5 years, she's been in there 4, I think, already, because she was a whistleblower that told everybody what Russia was doing, and they put her in jail and silenced her for 4 years. I mean, they should pardon her and give her a Medal of Honor. She exposed what the Russians were doing. But the sentences are all too long. They're all ridiculous. I mean, I remember sitting in court one day waiting for one of Roy's trials when we were sentencing in Palm Beach, and this young kid had taken a box this big from Alabama or somewhere to Florida, and we were sitting in an Alabama judge, and this judge sits up and he starts going, come up here and look at me, son. Now, you did wrong, and you shouldn't have done that, and I know you don't think you knew what was in the box, but the jury thinks you knew what was in the box, and so we're thinking, the guy's going to slap his hands and give him 6 months in jail. 17 years.
It's horrible.
He's a teenager. So I go outside in the lobby. His mother or grandmother, somebody was sobbing and crying. He had like a couple of kids, the wife. They had no money. I gave them money. I got their address. I shipped them clothes and food for like 3 months.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's just horrible. So I think the sentence should be, I think what he got is probably, maybe even should be less, to be honest with you. But anyway, I think they should all be less. Yes, polls show that all the candidates were beating Trump, but now we're down to 2. And I think the other thing that is wrong with this election, it should be the swing state should go first. That's what matters. It doesn't matter what California thinks. It doesn't matter what Massachusetts thinks. They're not swing states. It matters what Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Florida, those are the states that need to vote first, because whoever can win the swing states has the best chance of winning the election, which is why moving up California gave Bernie a huge boost. And there's nothing wrong with him getting a huge boost, but to get it that early in the primary and make it look like, oh, he can win, California's going to go blue no matter what. What are the swing states going to do? That's what we need to be worrying about. We are spending $5.4 trillion on the spending bill for 2021. It's 21% over what it was the last 4 years. Trump's spending money like a drunken sailor. And did you know he shut down Munchkin? He will not let them release the amount of money that he has spent on his family and his security and his trips until after the election.
They did release something, though, like 2 weeks ago about he has spent over, I think it was 8 presidential salaries on just golf trips.
Well, they didn't release that. Mike Farb released that.
Yeah, there was something.
He's still hiding it. And he's still hiding his taxes. So he owes, in my opinion, he owes a ton of money to the Saudis and to the Russians.
Exactly
That's what I
happened.
think.
Absolutely.
That's what I think.
It's
Meanwhile, they're getting rid of school lunches. Okay, we got to go. I never get to everything. Look at all this. I never get to all this. I just want to point out that Sanders voted against the Magnitsky Act. He voted against Russian sanctions. He voted against Russian sanctions and against Russian sanctions 4 times. So there is no wonder why Russia's trying to help him. And then one of the tweets I wanted to point out, this guy Tony Polanski, who's hilarious, or Posanski, or however you say it. He said Hillary hasn't been locked up while 91% of the group who chanted "lock you up" is behind bars.
She's on Jimmy Kimmel tonight too.
Oh yeah, you know what? She predicted it. She was right about all this stuff.
Yep.
People didn't like her, but to me, that is the true definition of misogyny. When American people will elect the least qualified man over the most qualified woman. What else do you call it other than misogyny?
Yeah, it is.
And even Rick Wilson admitted the other day, he goes, me and my Republican counterpart spent 30 years trying to bring the Clintons down, so of course she didn't win. So it was all to bring them down. They've never proven one thing of all these false accusations, they never proven any of it, but but it's rubbed off. They've slandered them enough that it's rubbed off. You know?
I think that documentary on Hulu comes out this week too.
Which one?
Hillary.
Oh my God,
The one-
the timing couldn't be worse
so-
for that, because she's going to, you better get security if you don't have it, girl, because the Bernie people are going to be coming after you.
And she's going to be on Watch What Happens Live on Thursday
I
night.
saw that, yeah. Let me tell you, those Bernie people, they don't mess around. They throw the bombs, boy.
Yep,
They're mean.
for
They're
sure.
mad. They're angry. I don't want an angry president. I don't want a revolution. I just want peace. I want things to work in the world. I want the world to work for everybody, not just for a few. And I want to relax about the government's running properly and we can chill out. I want the truth. Oh my God, am I asking too much? Am I asking for too much? Little old me, never. Okay, we had fun. Did we have fun? Did
We
miss
did.
anything?
Everybody remember, go to
leahblack.com.
leahblack.com and use the podcast code to get 50% off the CBD products and the Sudden Youth Mask. And we will be off next week. We will be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, next week is spring break.
Everyone.
Meanwhile, go to Instagram and look at those testimonials and send us yours.
Absolutely. Send in your testimonials to Hello Leah Black, or you can do a direct message on social media.
And get out and vote. Florida's
And
voting.
Vote, vote, vote.
I finally put my Biden sign on my car today. I was waiting to see how it played out because I was very open-minded to Bloomberg.
No,
I think he did a huge amount of things to help the party. He helped the House win. He's helped expose who Trump is. He's an amazing patriot guy, and I think he's just a little bit misunderstood, and he's kind of got that New York swag, but but I think we should all owe him thanks. But I put my Biden sticker, so please get out and vote. We've got to win, and we've got to win. We've got to win all these swing states.
We've got to vote like we've never voted before. So
Got to get rid of Trump because you know they're going to cheat.
Yep.
Like Pete Buttigieg is so smart. He used to say,
they're
we
gonna
can't
cheat.
even let them get within cheating distance.
No, for sure.
And he's right.
Surely.
Oh, my God. All right, we'll talk to you
All right,
guys
everyone,
next
we'll see
week
you in
and
2
week after
weeks.
2 weeks. Bye.